Alright, welcome to Season 2, Race 17, with my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. We are in Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix, and unlike Singapore, practice went pretty well. For us, we will go to the R&D tree, see where we need to. So we were going to get a I think we're going to get this next aerodynamic upgrade on the car. So why not? We have the points. So let's get it done. We'll be in for the US Grand Prix. And we're going to be very ahead on the aero side of things. Just barely had enough points. Let's see, we can separating ourselves a little bit from Mercedes. Racing Point has jumped up to third best overall, so we'll see if that performance carries over to the race. And Renault, the third worst team, and Williams overtakes Haas. So Haas is technically the worst team on the grid now. So interesting developments there. And funny enough, look at the weather forecast. Season 1 at Russia was wet, and now Season 2 at Russia is wet. So there you go. We'll now move to one-shot qualifying as we get ready to determine the starting grid for the Russian Grand Prix. Alright. Let's see what we can do. The track very much suits our car, but relatively easy one to drive as well. Rocking it off down the front stretch. Teammate, start behind us. E2. Running a little wide. Then Magnussen capture his first pole. Running wide to that long left-hander did not help us. Back up to P5, or really close to our teammate. Back up to P1. Ooh, and we're P7. I think our teammate just got dipped to a pole. We're going to be P7. And I think it's going to be Magnussen and Bottas on the front row.
And with qualifying complete,
let's
review our top three today. Bottas, Leclerc, and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Man, look at how close it was from first to fourth. Man, Magnussen missed off pole by that much. pretty crazy. Um, Usual suspects up front. The pace of the racing points didn't necessarily show up in qualifying, and oof, Albon P14 when his teammates qualifying P5. That's not good. So there you go. That was qualifying. For the Russian GP, I mean, it's a one-stop normally, but tires won't matter that much this time because it will be raining again. Now, I believe in the first race here, in season 1, it was, I think it was heavy rain or intermediate the whole way through. This time it's going to be a little different, I think, because of the fact that the forecast does call for some light rain towards the end of the race. And I think much like the British Grand Prix, it's going to be a situation where we will be switching to intermediate tires before the end of the race. So it still is a one-stop, just a different kind of one-stop. Alright, messages, nothing important here, just information about the race and the track. Alright, let's get to it. As the race loads up. Waiting, waiting, waiting. There we go.
Welcome along then to Sochi and the Russian Grand Prix, one of 8 cities in the world to play host to both the Olympics and a Formula One race. It's a Grand Prix that's proven difficult to crack for anyone beyond the first 2 rows of the grid in recent years, so let's see if that can change today. Well, it's certainly not the best weather out on the Sochi street circuit today. A track that boasts 18 corners, 12 to the right and 6 to the left. And it's a track that combines both fast corners and long straights, resulting in speeds of excess of 200 miles an hour. But with these conditions, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a safety car out there today. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, the owner driver, and Sainz, Perez, Ricciardo, Stroll, and Valtteri Bottas. Kvyat, Norris, Kevin Magnussen, and Ocon, Grosjean, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nick de Vries. Latifi, Calderon, Albon, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So we have 4 sets of grid penalties there.
In the sports world, we saw some things that are unprecedented with games being canceled, and athletes finding their voice and talking about, in their minds, what needs to happen, what needs to change. I pivot back, frankly, to where we were back in early June, with coming out of the death of George Floyd, what the drivers did with their video in Atlanta, kind of that moment of listening that we had as a sport in Atlanta.
All right. If you hear something in the background, I'm watching the pre-race for NASCAR. No stops, but I presume this will change because of the fact that it's going to go lighter rain. Albon and Gasly both have penalties that send them basically right to the back. But we gained 2 spots after Bottas and our teammate Magnussen get penalties. So now we're on P5 with Leclerc on pole and Hamilton on the front row.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
It won't be until at least season 3 that we have a dry race here in Russia.
Okay, our main competitors in this race are Vettel and Sainz. The rain is getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Inters and wets will probably have similar pace at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to intermediates at some point during this race.
The rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
Alright, here we go. Let's see what we can do here in Russia. Full wet conditions. Lights out and away we go. Slogged the getaway, but much better second phase. Alongside Vettel. If I Verstappen maybe. Underestimated the braking. I forgot that we were running in wet conditions. Brake a little hard. Looks like with Vettel still. Okay, get away from Vettel. Perez is now alongside him. As it's Leclerc, Hamilton from Verstappen to us, P4. Go wide through that corner.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
Perez is up to P5. We're just motoring through here now on lap 3. No DRS, of course. And we're just going to do a little preemption.
Confirming that we'll be fitting the intermediate tyres.
Few pits, because also should be noted that, of course, with the weather, it usually tends to come a little earlier than it says on the graph before the race. So I'm expecting it to get to light rain before the end of the race. So I feel like we're definitely going to be pitting for intermediates at some point.
The rain is getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out.
So it's just going to be a question of when it's time to pit for the intermediate times. And since the original strategy was to go all the way on these wet tires, I presume that we will get a strategy alert message telling us that it's time to change onto intermediates. I have to say, I am a little surprised here. I thought that Hamilton would put up more of a fight with the Ferrari of Leclerc, but Leclerc has really pulled out the gap there to Lewis Hamilton.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy.
And we're not that far ahead of Perez. We're just trying our best to just keep the gaps here. a lap in these conditions is just under 2 minutes. That, I just went purple sector 1. They're actually closing in on Max Verstappen in the Red Bull.
The energy store is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop. Tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now. The car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap form.
And we're definitely starting to pull away from Perez a little bit. There, just kind of Verstappen.
Couldn't receive that. Repeat the message. Okay, it could be a risk with the circuit this greasy, but we think the slick might now be the quicker tyre. If you think you can keep it on the road, let's consider swapping over.
You serious? Oh. Definitely not time for slicks, Jeff. Come on.
Consensus in the garage is that it's probably about time for the slick tyre now. It will be slippery, but it will probably be quicker.
That's wrong! There is no consensus, Jeff. You're watching a completely different race. Ay, ay, ay.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
Yeah, I do think we are definitely going to get to a point where the track will be dry enough for intermediates. I think that's fair to say.
cars are coming in for inters. It's touch and go, but could be worth the risk. We'll be ready if you want to box. Right, come in at the end of this lap.
A late call to box for the intermediate tires, and here we go. Surprised that the front three didn't come in. So I think we played this just right, actually. Actually, let me go back and check to make sure that everyone else is doing intermediates. Let's see. If intermediates for the Ferrari, intermediates for the Renault, intermediates for the Racing Point. So yep, it's all good. Everybody's going on to the intermediate tires that came in.
Go, exit now.
I thought for a second there we were going to get held, but fortunately we did not.
Pit
That's
strategy
good.
complete. See these tires through to the end now. We need to push now. Use your overtake button for more power.
Interestingly enough, Leclerc has stayed on track.
The gap to the car behind is 2.0 seconds.
Getting close. I think Verstappen's just going to get us. It's pretty close. I'm wondering if this is an interesting strategy played from Leclerc, maybe gambling on people staying out because we're all trapped behind some slower cars here. See if Leclerc decides to hit this time. And it looks like he is coming down into the pits. And I think this is going to end up proving to be maybe a mistake for Ferrari. We'll see.
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
Oh, and some of those cars that have wedged continue to stay on track. It's absolutely, honestly, a little bit shocking. As we sit the fastest lap of the race, Leclerc is going to come out and he is not going to get caught by behind any major traffic, so that worked out brilliantly for Leclerc as slow. Everybody's going slow here. I think Latifi. Ooh. Look at that from Pierre Gasly. Look at that. He had a big moment there that could have been an accident. Look at that. Whoa. Gasly out of control. Kept it going, managed to save it. And we're still going here in Russia. Gasly and Latifi really holding us up here. Of course, Gasly had one of those grid penalties. We got to take the opportunity to make an overtake. Here we go. Oh, we're going a little wide. Get by Latifi, but there goes Hamilton. And here comes Perez on Verstappen. Oh, dicey. Latifi really proving to be a bit of a roadblock here. Ah, well, come on, Latifi. And here comes Perez. He's gotten through. 3-1 wide. Ooh, contact. But Perez sneaks through, checking the front wing, looks okay. And Perez is through. In the racing point. Verstappen, the real loser there.
We're at +1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target +1.
Looks like some of the people that had originally stayed out are only now coming into the pit lane. Also make our quickie save right about now. Time to use some of that gas we saved. 8-4, though this time it's Perez ahead of us instead of Verstappen. And Leclerc has extended his lead to Hamilton, so I guess Leclerc just played it well for the traffic, waited for Hamilton to get caught up. And now he's in a much better position. Quick check of the running order. Our teammate is stuck at P11, gained 2 spots, but still outside of the points right now. Ooh, got a little too close to Perez there. Making mistakes here.
I think we're still on the right tyres for the time being. Repeat that. There's interference. There's static over the radio. Say again.
There's no static, you plank.
Say that again. We're having trouble receiving. Didn't catch that. Say again. 4th position. You're in 4th position. Perez is ahead of you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh inters. Verstappen behind. Our gap behind is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh inters. The distance to the leader is 8.6 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 18 laps to go.
How come you answer my first message? How come you answer that message but not the one about the weather?
Inters look like the best tyre for now. This light rain is going to be with us for a while now.
I don't know why that was so hard, Jeff. I don't know why that was so hard. little wide again. Verstappen's going to be close to us now. Verstappen looking to the inside. Ooh, a little bit of contact. And Verstappen is through the P4. He's bettered us through that corner.
Burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down. We're leading our teammate by 5.1 seconds. Okay, we've got plenty of energy. Use the overtake button and have a go.
Sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he continues to pull away from Lewis Hamilton. Trying to close back up to Max Verstappen, who also just set the fastest lap of the race. Long way to the finish of this one, though the lap times are coming down. Thanks to us being on intermediates and the track getting a little drier. the rain not coming down as hard. We're only about halfway through this race. Close to Verstappen. What a gap! The gap to Sebastian Vettel, so let's see if we can go after Max here.
Leclerc has set the fastest lap of the race so far. Gap to teammate behind is 5.9 seconds.
Ooh, getting close to Max. Getting hard on the brakes to avoid running into the back of him.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay.
Oh, excuse me.
We're still happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment.
Watching the pre-race for the Coke Zero 400 in Daytona. And they are in the process of awarding Kevin Harvick the regular season championship, which is going to give him a couple of extra bonus points for the chase for the championship as they go into next week in Darlington, as I record this. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'm watching while I'm playing this race. Vettel's actually... No, we really haven't lost touch with Verstappen, but Vettel is really starting to close up to us here. The Ferrari. And we just hit the fastest lap of the race.
Use your overtake button more, it's time to utilize some of this energy. We're leading our teammate by 5.9 seconds.
At 10 laps to go now, as we're starting to see, I think, a little bit of blue sky peeking through the clouds. Don't think it'll be enough to warrant a switch to dries. Interesting to note.
Say again, you're breaking up. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now. Inters look like the best tyre for now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
You're not really telling me the information I'm trying to get at there, Jeff.
Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Now we just hit the fastest lap of the race again. We're not even in rich mix, we're setting the fastest laps every time out. Maybe it's just because we're in the slipstream of Verstappen. Summer's gearbox.
Leclerc's in first place.
Yes, Jeff, very aware of that. Trying to fend off from his teammate.
Vettel is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 0.8 seconds. They're on old Inters. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 49.2.
The contact there. Vettel has the line on the inside. We're going to switch back. Knocking out the line again, and we maintain P5. Bit of a bunch up behind us. Should be interesting to see if any one of those guys can gain spot. Bottas sitting back there 9th. He's kind of stuck behind Sainz right now. Not able to make up any ground.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
My tires are more than good enough to go the distance. You don't need to worry a thing about me. Another purple sector 1. And it's sort of a loose train right now. You have Perez, Verstappen, and myself. And then the gap between us and Vettel keeps yo-yoing back and forth.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
I think you kind of know what I'm trying to say. It's going back and forth. Sometimes we're a little bit further ahead, then Vettel closes in, and then it goes back and forth, back and forth.
Gap to teammate behind is 5.6
and we set the fastest lap of the race again. Don't know what it is, but our car is just very fast right now. Just don't have enough to get past Verstappen at the moment.
Is drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water off the line. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet. The radar's showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Yeah, that rate it might stop just as we're hitting the last lap of the race. Obviously not enough time to change onto dries, although we do see a clear dry line forming.
You're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Okay, battery's looking good. You can use overtake to get past. It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Gonna be coming up on 5 laps to go. This time by. Drop something on the floor. Sorry about that. Something on the floor, and it was me disconnecting my headphones for a second. But we're all good now, and we continue with the race.
Leclerc's out in front. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Behind Verstappen, that's going to allow Vettel to catch back up. As I switch the coverage here. On my phone. Trying to stay in touch with what's going on here. The race starts at 7:30 and it just turned to 7 o'clock. Go. The Vettel is right behind us now. Oh, he's got a big run, but sort of stalls out behind us. Four laps to go this time. Vettel right on our tail. Not a good exit to the final corner.
A small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
4 laps to go. Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix set by us. The track's continually moving. There is a drive line there, but it's too wet for the DRS. Obviously, it's too wet for dries.
Is running low on fuel. Try to pull away without taking any risks. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
And now Leclerc second fastest lap, so steals that point away from us there. 2 laps to go this time by. There we go, 2 to go.
We're leading our teammate by 8.4 seconds.
See if we can go for this fastest lap again. Pop it up in a rich mix. Overtake mode. Very close to the rear end of Verstappen, and he makes slight contact, but it's all good. We continue on.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2. Looks like the weather is going to dry up in about 5 minutes.
No, it doesn't matter now, because we're about to get to the last lap of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
Final lap. Another long and wet Russian Grand Prix about to come to an end. We're right on the gearbox.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Really burning the fuel down now. I think we're going to be okay. make it to the end. Meanwhile, up front, Charles Leclerc, thanks to sort of a grip penalty for pole sitter Valtteri Bottas, will come across the line to take a second win of the season. Second win of the season for Ferrari as well. Can we steal the fastest lap? No, it doesn't look like we did.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc
All
Fermé.
green. Those last couple sectors, but nothing to really show for it as Sergio Perez gets driver of the day.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today,
Good
and
result
a
for
stunning
Leclerc,
win for Ferrari.
getting another win. Also good for Sergio Perez getting a podium. Good for him.
Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Our championship leader not only managed to hold on to the top spot, but managed to further extend their lead. Impressive stuff. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick. Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
Let's move on to the constructors. The owner-drivers team moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Alright, that's it for the Russian Grand Prix. Another long one in Sochi. No retirements. Albon and Gasly not really able to rebound from their grid penalties. Neither Kevin Magnussen or Bottas. Bottas at least gets points. Leclerc gets the fastest lap of the race. Point standings. I find it funny how they said that I extended my lead when that was clearly not the case, as Hamilton not only jumped to second but gained some points on me. So he moves up to second. Leclerc jumps Verstappen back for fourth. The race from 6th to 11th remains very volatile as Perez jumps to 6th, Ricciardo 7th, Magnussen drops a little bit to 8th, Vettel jumps up to 9th, Albon drops to 10th, Stroll drops to 11th. Again, those 6 positions separated by about 15 points. Constructors, Mercedes gained on us. I don't know why it said we took the lead, because I'm pretty sure we were in the lead coming out of Singapore. I could be wrong. Whatever the case may be, that's where we are. Now, wait a minute. I know that's definitely not true, because Hamilton got second, Bottas got 9th, so that's 20 points, and I got 10. So there's no way I would take the lead in the Constructors' Championship. Or, there's no way I just took the lead now. I think that graphic is wrong. Mercedes is still in second, but they gained on us. That's how it should be, I think. I think that's how it should be read, if the system here was correct. But either way, that was the Russian Grand Prix. No interview. Continue to lead the rivalry on Bottas, so we think we pretty much have it won. We're so far ahead. Team McLean continues to go up. Cash, $935,000. $60,000. So we're going to be up to $20.3 million. We're saving up for signing a teammate. Potentially a more expensive teammate. Hopefully Daniel Ricciardo, but we'll see when the time comes. Okay, we got an invitational event. Don't think I'm going to have time for that this time around. Let's get stuff that will help the team acclaim. Visit sponsor headquarters. I think that's a good one. Funded team event. Ups the morale of all the departments. I think that's pretty easy. And G-Force training for Magnussen. We'll go with that. No messages here. Upgrades came in. We'll go to the invitational event and do this as quick as possible. It is a time attack race, so it shouldn't take too long. Through some of these corners. I was thinking of skipping the challenge because the Cup race at Daytona is starting very, very shortly. They're just about to give the command to fire the engines, but can't turn down the opportunity for acclaim and money, so that's what we're doing. time around. Should easily be able to get this one done. Have to flip back into standard. And coming in the lead. Should be okay though. Brazil, it's not a very long track. With relative ease after initial turn 1 bobble. Get it done and we're good to advance. Oh, it's a stretch. Alright. And there we go. There is the announcement. Sebastian Vettel retiring from Formula One. Obviously, that's going to create a big hole in the driver market. So we continue to advance. And then, that's that. So that's it for this one. I'll see you next time in Japan.